This is the third part of the series in God's Promises. So I'll invite you down in Child's Pose to begin with. And Child's Pose, if you're not that familiar with it, make some distance in between your knees. Let your hips here sink back towards your heels, forehead on the ground. And your hands can either just be at the front or maybe just behind you, whatever works. And just breathe for a minute or a moment. Maybe you feel how the air kind of fills out the lower part of your lungs. Create length at the back of your spine. And as you rest in Child's Pose, just listen to this verse from Psalms 32, verse 8. God says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. God's promises to us when we need guidance. And any teacher might notice there are three important words here: instruct, teach, and guide. Interesting combination of words. Spread your fingers to the front end of your mat and spread them out on the mat. And then lift yourself up into downward facing dog, taking your time. Bend one knee, let your hip move a little bit, bend the elbows. It's a little bit of a happy journey here on the mat in your down dog. So if you feel confused, don't know where to go, if you have decisions that is hard to make, maybe this is a promise that you need to breathe in today. Walk your feet to the front end of our mat. Fold forward. Bend your knees as much as you like. Maybe take a hold of your elbows as you sway from side to side. Let go of your hands. Bend your knees even further. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Move into mountain pose. Take your hands out to the side and up towards the ceiling. And then lean them back a little bit. Open up your chest. Use your core as you get into high mountain again and fold forward. Bend your knees even further. Place your hands on the mat. Step it back into plank pose. Again, stay here. Use your core. Maybe you move a little bit. Either on knees or on toes, with elbows somewhat towards your rib, lower down with a long line spine. When you're down on the mat, lift your chest, take your shoulders away from your ears. Lift your head up. And then tuck your toes under, move to down dog. So I'll guide you through a sequence that we repeat a few times. And I find it as a kind of a journey. We start a bit low on the mat and move higher and higher up on the mat. Take your right leg and lift it towards the sky. Hug your knee underneath your belly and step it to the front end of your mat. Low lunge, which means the left knee comes down on the mat. Find your balance, look to the front, let go of your hands off the mat, lift your arms up towards the sky, open up, small back bend here to begin with. Might feel a stretch in your hip flexor and even in your hamstring as you move your hip a little bit forward. Then move your hip back, stretch the front leg there, toes pointing up. Don't overdo this knee. Lean to the front. Be gentle with yourself. I might instruct you with my cues, but you have to see it as a guide, that I only guide you into postures and you have to listen to your body, what it guides you to do. All right, walk your hands again to the front, knee and ankle above each other, tuck the toes under. Let's move into high lunge or crescent lunge. Arms lift up and sink a little bit low. Stretch the back leg. And then move your arms out to the side. Open up your heart for guidance. Trust that God's guidance is there somewhere. Straighten your spine again. Let your palms meet on top of your head. And let's see if we can try this. Stretch the front leg there. You might need block for this. If not, just take a hold of your thigh if you can't reach the floor. But try to take one hand around one hand around the foot. Back heel is lifted. And then move a little bit back so that back heel moves somewhat towards the mat and the front toes elevates up. Again, walk your hands to the front, turn the back foot around, moving into warrior two. So make sure your hips are okay with this. Long arms length from fingers to fingers. Reverse warrior with the front knee extended, so lean back, straight spine. Make sure your body is completely in one line almost. Triangle pose. Move the hip a little bit back as you lean forward into your triangle pose. Don't overdo this triangle pose. Gaze down the ground, fingers down, lift the back heel off, and maybe take this front foot a little bit closer to be able to do what we're going to do, forward fold with a split. So like I kind of push left leg off the mat and lift the left leg up. Let your forehead reach somewhat towards the front leg. Beautiful. Let go. Foot down, step it back, down dog, optional vinyasa, or just stay in your down dog. Vinyasa would be inhale to your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest, and then move back on your exhale to down dog. Stepping your feet maybe just a centimeter or inch closer to your hands. Opposite side, left leg, here we go, lift it up. Bend your knee under and step it to the front end of your mat. Lower back, down the back knee, maybe toes on the ground. Let go of the mat. Raise your arms up, opening up, and maybe reaching up, saying, God, I need you. Your guidance. Help me to trust that there is a path in front of me. And maybe you lean back, offering up your heart and trust. Using your hip, move your hip back, framing the foot, extending front leg. Let your forehead reach somewhat toward the shin there. Again, walk your hand to the front end of the mat. Crescent lunge, high lunge. Spread out the toes. Knee and ankle aligned with the front foot. And sink as low as you think you need to today. Move back. Arms out to the side, almost like a cross position. Moving shoulder blades together. Breathing deeply. Stretching your spine, palms meet on top of your head, shoulders somewhat down. Stretch the front leg. I know there's a lot of balance going on here, but just try. Framing the foot again, or take a hold of your leg there. Blocks, also a good idea. And then move back on the mat. Back heel maybe down on the floor. At least front toes elevated. Again, move to the front. Turn the back foot. Warrior two. Heel somewhat aligned. Lift up. And maybe with a side, kind of walk your way down into your maybe wide-legged warrior two. Reverse warrior, front leg extended, lean back. Triangle pose, move the hip back as you lean forward, maybe reaching a little bit further down than you did the first time we were in a triangle pose. Gaze up or down, completely up to you. Now getting out of the pose, release the back foot there. Take the front foot a little bit closer. Forward fold with a split. So right leg up. And again, don't overdo it. We're not that warm yet. Lower the leg down. Downward facing dog. Again, optional vinyasa. Inhale plank if you want to do your vinyasa and don't want to stay in your down dog. Exhale to plank, low plank. Inhale cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Or child's pose if you prefer. Sometimes we just wished God would instruct us a little bit more. Just tell us, God, what's the best deal for me? How do I get the best life? And sometimes we think God is slow to answer. But maybe, just maybe, it's because there's something more important going on. He is teaching us stuff. Being taught, learning things is different from just being instructed to do stuff. So maybe we're just teaching, being taught things right now. Let's do this sequence again. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, move it to the front. Low lunge, inhale as you let go of the mat. Exhale as you make it into a small back bend. Inhale, move your hip back, stretch the front leg. And exhale, forward fold here. Inhale, walk your hands to the front. And exhale, lift the knee up. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, throw your arms out to the side, a small back bend. Inhale, let your palms meet. And exhale. Inhale, stretch out the front leg. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you gently move yourself a little bit back, stretch the top leg there. Exhale, move it deeper into your forward fold. Inhale again, bend the front knee, pivot the back foot. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior with the front leg stretched. Exhale, move to the front again. Inhale, hip moves back. And exhale, triangle. Inhale, hands on the mat, let the back heel off. Lift it up, exhale, forward fold, and let's stay here for a breath. Release. Hands on the ground, step it back, down dog. Again, optional vinyasa. Let your heels sink as low as they can. Hip moves up and back. Left leg. Inhale, move it up. And move it to the front. Exhale. Low lunge, the low part here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, move back, maybe deeper now. Inhale, move hip back. And exhale, forward fold here. Run a stretch. Inhale, move to the front. Exhale as you lift the heel or the knee off. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, arms out to the side. Open up your chest. Inhale, again, straight spine. Palms reach. Stretch the front leg. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Move it back, preparing on your inhale. And exhale, toes pointing up the front foot. Inhale, preparing your warrior two. And exhale, finding it. Reverse warrior. Exhale, find your stretch here at the front. Triangle pose, preparing on your inhale. And exhaling, moving down. Fingers on the mat, lift the heel up, inhale. And exhale, lift right leg up. And just play with it. We'll stay here for a breath. And let go. Downward facing dog. And again, optional vinyasa. I will not guide you, just play with it if you like. I'll invite you down in child's pose. We'll do the sequence one last time. But the verse also says, I will counsel you with my loving eyes on you. Is there any counseling that you have forgot, that you need to be reminded of? Maybe something people have said to you that you have forgotten along the way. Or maybe a verse that just spoke to you sometimes during the week. If you feel like staying down here because you're reminded of something, just pause the screen or the recording. If you're ready, let's do the sequence one last time through. Downward facing dog. You're welcome to follow my cueing with the breath or just do your own. Right leg. Inhale, move it up. Exhale through. Lower down the back knee. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, back bend. Inhale, preparing rounded stretch. And exhale, move forward. Inhale, walk to the front. Exhale, lift back, knee off, lower down your hip. Inhale, see if you can find your balance. And exhale, back, open up. Inhale, straighten your spine, palms together. Exhale, stay here, shoulders down. Stretch the front leg, inhale. And exhale, frame it, let your forehead reach somewhat towards your chin. Inhale as you move back heel in the mat maybe. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, warrior two. Getting there on your exhale. Reverse warrior. And triangle pose. Preparing your right leg or forward fold with a hip opener. Left leg, move it up. Let your head sink towards the knee and stay here for a breath. Lower down the foot. Downward facing dog. Again, optional vinyasa or stay in down dog. Left leg, inhale. And to the front, exhale. Knee down, inhale. Back bending, exhale. Round and stretch, move your hip back. And exhale. To the front. Exhale as you lift the knee off, no rush. Inhale, high lunge. Back bend, open up your chest. Stretch your spine towards the sky. Palms together. Stretch the front knee, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands back, inhale. And exhale yet again, forward fold. Warrior 2. Lift up. Reverse warrior. Triangle. Half split. Heel off the mat. Right leg up towards the sky. And this time, let the feet meet here. Together, come to a forward fold. Done with our sequence. Sit down on your mat. Maybe with your feet here in front. Staff pose. Catch your breath if you're out of breath. Just a few stretches, wrapping the class up in child's pose, just as we started. The first one will be pigeon pose, right leg here at the front, and maybe you bend your knees a little bit more than having the shin aligned with the short end of the mat. Now move your left leg back, knee on the ground, and maybe you kind of move your whole torso back rather than taking this leg off and pulling it to the front. Use your blocks underneath the hip here if you like to support. Stay with your arms, so if you want to reach all the way down, welcome to do that. Please point your toes if your knee is bent as much as my knee is. Now you probably had different teachers throughout your life. Good teachers, bad teachers. But God says here, I will counsel you with my loving eyes on you. So it's a teacher who wants only the best for us. That is just so great to know and try to lean into. Getting out of it, move out to your left thigh there, come down on your buttocks and move both legs to the front of your mat. Maybe take your hands above your head And move them out to the side. And then gently moving into pigeon pose from the other side. Left leg bended. Remember to point the toes unless your shin is aligned with the short end of the mat. We do this to take care of our knees as best as possible. As we did before, either in hands, elbows, or just kind of sleeping in this pigeon pose. Deepen your breath. Lift up and move back on your hip there. This time move both legs back, maybe on tabletop pose. Release any tension from the stretch. And find child's pose again as I'll read the verse again from the Passion version of the Bible. Forehead on the ground, maybe you let your palms reach up. And as I read the verse 2 times, surrender. I'll give to God whatever you need guidance for. Small things, big things, whatever you feel like you're confused about. I hear the Lord saying, I will stay close to you, instructing and guiding you along the way, and lead you forth with my eyes as your guide. I will stay close to you, instructing and guiding you along the way, and lead you forth with my eyes as your guide. So God, help us to trust in your path and in your guidance. Amen.